All right, so last week I told you about how having a mentor can be very instrumental in really helping you shape your ghostwriting career. And I told you I would have a special guest, and that special guest is here with me. This is Ahren Martinez of Pen to Purpose LLC, and she was my mentee on the project that I told you all about last week. And so I'm super excited to have her here. So without further ado, Ahren Martinez, introduce yourself and tell us about you just in general. We're here to listen.
Sure. Oh, thank you so much, Lynette of Right Way Consulting LLC. I'm so grateful, honored. It's always such a joy to meet with you and speak with you. So thank you for having me on today. A little bit about myself, I guess. Well, yes, I am founder and chief ghostwriter at Pen to Purpose LLC, where I help female founders and entrepreneurs, business owners transition their authentic brand voice and stories and content into transition their authentic brand voice and stories into content that positively impacts their business and community. And I specialize in nonfiction thought leadership books and social media content specifically. So that is my passion. That is what I do. I love storytelling, love it. And I've learned so much from you about how the importance of storytelling, how to do it well, and especially in book form, and just so many other things in running a business and just being a premium, high-level, kick-ass ghostwriter and business owner. So I'm proud and thankful to be here. And I am a Los Angeles native. I live in Los Angeles with my husband, more specifically Azusa, California. And yeah, what else?
No, that was perfect. And you're most welcome. I want to thank you for being here because it's just so important for people to see a face behind, all the stories that I've shared here on this channel about us working together. So, and I was also super excited to record this because normally I'm just talking to the screen and now I have someone to talk to. So I'm sure the content will be better. So thank you so much. Your introduction was perfect. And, I just really want to go into how you found yourself in the industry when you first started, before meeting me,
Yeah.
once you've met me, and now afterwards. So give me the synopsis on those 3 points in time.
Sure. So I've been like professionally writing for the past 10 years, and I started in a university setting where I was writing curriculum in various forms for universities and curriculum companies, writing for online learning platforms and like PhD and graduate level students, and also doing kind of spiritual formation content for young people for curriculum companies. So I did that for quite a few years, and then started working randomly. I was working at a church too in the midst of that time, and it wasn't a great experience for me. And writing has always been a love and a passion. And also, another thing I do also in terms of writing is writing scripts for comedy, for like television and film type of thing. So I really love to incorporate all of that type of writing into what I do. And so I was working, in this church position, wasn't going well. It was really time for me to look for another job. And my husband has always encouraged me. He said, Ahren, you need to create your own job. Like, you need to do writing full time and you need to create your own job. And I said, I don't want to do that. That sounds really hard. So how about no? And I always told myself I'd never start my own business. Like, why would I do that? First of all, I've never seen anyone in my family start a business. And so I never had a blueprint of any kind. And so I was like, I'm not going to do that. But the divine timing of things truly was everything, because it was the right time for me to really start something and to start from scratch, clearly, because I had nowhere to start from. But I know I had a passion for writing. I know I'm good at it. I've done ghostwriting and writing in multiple forms. So it was just kind of all about, where do I start? And I had linked up with someone on LinkedIn that helped ghostwriters kind of start their own businesses and kind of do the CRM or like the messaging behind the scenes, of LinkedIn to help you kind of gain clients. And so I did that for a few months, and that was good. and that helped me kind of start from the ground up, kind of start a business, do the LLC thing, you know. But from there is where I kind of got into LinkedIn more. I never really was involved on LinkedIn. Um, but from there is where I found you, because I was really searching for other ghostwriters and female Black women that are ghostwriters to see like who's out there, who's doing this, you know, and who has their own business is doing this. And I really just went searching, literally just in the dark on LinkedIn, and I found you and I said, oh my God, she's incredible. Who is this? I'm just going to cold call slash, you know, email you and say, hey, you sound amazing. You know, can we chat? Can we talk about your ghostwriting business and just kind of, you know, from there. And yeah, I talking to you once, I was like, who is this phenomenal woman that fell from heaven that God literally sent me to? That literally is just everything and then some. And so I was so excited to talk to you and learning about the fact that you have your own ghostwriting business and writing consulting and so much more. And just learning from you, from, you know, just kind of the embryonic stages of my business, you know, kind of getting clients here and there and seeing, you know, smaller projects, but kind of working towards the bigger ones and kind of bringing it all together as a Black female business owner and ghostwriter in this industry has just been like the most powerful, most beautiful, amazing decision I've ever made. And literally, I know that you were just a true godsend to me and my business. So I don't know if I went around the way in answering your question. I went all the way over here and came back. But yeah,
That was wonderful. So what I heard from you was essentially, you started out in one vein and then you didn't have much satisfaction, even though you had the experience, but you knew that there was currency in having your own company, your own role in your own lane. And then we linked up to kind of, just give you the insight into this whole ghostwriting thing, because you've done it, what it seems like, in project based before, but doing it full time is completely different. So
right.
that's why I believe, and I always preach to people, that LinkedIn is such an amazing place, because if you're looking, you can find the thing that you're looking for, because we wouldn't have met otherwise. We have some intersectionality, because I know you went to school here in the state of Georgia where I reside, but still, we wouldn't have met. That was in a different time, place, and period, of time. So it's really great that we were able to intersect there. And that brings me next to the question of, let's talk about the whole mentorship. Like, what was your, I've shared the details on the channel before here, but I'd love to hear from your perspective. What was the mentorship, your favorite part about it? And, just give an overview of the project, is how, from your scope, I should say, your perspective.
Okay. Yeah. So, in terms of the mentorship and kind of the scope of how we worked together on the project was, um, I feel like you were truly just an amazing coach and kind of like background player. You're like, okay, Ahren, what do you need? What do you need from me? And what was so amazing is that you coached me through like my writing and doing really amazing editing for me as I would go into like my chapters each week, my stories, and you just really, I would write it up, I would listen to my client and say, hey, this is what she had, this is what I wrote out. And you really guided me through my storytelling in a way that I wasn't really able to look at it before. And I think each week I really felt myself thinking more strategically and more creatively in a way that I could really deliver my, our client's story to her in a way that was just like out of this world amazing. And I the way that I view life and my work especially is there's always ways for me to get better, like I never feel like I'm like I know all the things. I know I don't know all the things, but you just taught me that much more about storytelling and even just customer service and how to deal with clients and how to deal with tough conversations and also how to how to suss out things, like this means this, or I'm detecting this, or just kind of helping me look out for different things in terms of customer relations and client relations, which was just incredible for me. But in terms, I'm sorry, I'm getting back to the scope of work. So you helped me with my editing, storytelling. You were always there for me if I needed anything at all. Like if I had questions about the client process, about kind of some of the work I was doing. You even let me, we, did interaction with other vendors in terms of like editors, publishing partners, and you really helped me to see what that is like and what the best, what is the word I'm looking for? The how to best interact in like the highest, most professional way, and how to follow up, how to circle back, and what, the best ways to really interact with partners, and and what are the ways that you don't interact well with partners, and kind of what are the best ways to go about doing that. So that was incredible, and you just also helped me with like the whole book writing process. Like what are the necessities, what are the things you don't need, what are the things that are included, like just truly start to finish, you really helped guide me through that in a way that was completely invaluable, because I know that from now, I feel like it's in me now, because we've always talked about how you're not going to know really how to do some of this stuff until you actually do it. And going through it with you was just, I don't, it just felt like pro level stuff, because now I'm like, oh, it's like in me. Now I know how to do this stuff more so. And it feels like it's more second nature prior to us working together and doing this project together.
Well, wonderful. And just to give the audience some context, audience, let me tell you, Ahren and I have been working together for about 8 months. No, actually, it was probably closer to a year. Was it a year, Ahren?
I think it was a year.
Okay, we've been working together for a year, and a client found my website and she wanted to work on her project. And it wasn't a project that was, it's kind of a senior ghostwriter level, but definitely a ghostwriter who needs to cut their teeth with a really good project. So I told her about Ahren, then I set them together for a vibe check meeting to make sure that they were on the same page. And it just happened to be a good fit. And so, as Ahren stated, she and I worked together lockstep. I was behind the scenes, helping her with all of it, from the development, editing, copy editing. Oh my gosh, we have a story for that. And just everything else in between. Because when you onboard a client, you never know, outside of the actual project, all the other things that are going to come and surface and bubble up. So it's getting back to you, and it's just such a good thing to hear you say how much you learned. And I think that brings me to my next question. Was there a particular moment or a breakthrough that stands out from all of the rest of the things that we did in the scope of this project, working for this client?
Man, I that's a tough question, because I feel like there were so many moments where I was like, oh my, like how many times was I in tears, Lynette? Like I am a cry baby, but the amount of times that I was in tears over just my gratitude, like endless gratitude for Lynette, and the amount of times that you have helped me through so many things. So, I mean, geez, I don't even know, Lynette. There's so many. That's the thing. It's hard to pick kind of
Mhm.
like that moment where I'm like, oh my gosh, this is it. Um, but I think really truly seeing how completely ecstatic and elated that this client was with the work that was done. I mean, that just see, like, she was just like overwhelmed, and she was in tears
Mhm.
too multiple
Yeah.
times over the work, so I think
Mhm.
I think that in itself was just so gratifying and exciting for me, because I knew that this work was being produced and putting forth because of all the work that we were doing together, and that
Mhm.
I am a better writer, and a better ghostwriter now before I was with this project after having worked together with you. So yeah, I can't think of one moment. There were so many, but I think just seeing her, how excited she was, and still is really amazing.
Oh, that's wonderful. And you answered the question perfectly, actually, because you touched on something that I want to explore, the emotional component. A lot of people don't understand that working with someone so closely for an X amount of months and
Mhm.
telling them your story, it
Yeah.
evokes emotions while doing it, and also when they see the actual drafts. So, along that line, what was the most surprising part of this for you? What is something that you saw on the other side that you didn't even imagine before you began that you would witness or be a part of in the process?
Yeah, that's such a great question. I think that something I've known as a ghostwriter is that we really do wear multiple hats. We're not just writers, we're counselors, we're psychologists, we're, like friends, in a way in terms of the storytelling. And we just become this sounding board for clients. And I think but in this particular project and with this client, I really saw a transformation in her through her storytelling. And there was so much healing that took place in her storytelling sessions that I wasn't anticipating, because I was like, she has these stories, she knows what she wants to say. Like, we're just going to go through them. But she always told me, like, wow, I feel so much better after talking with you about this. And it was so much more than writing a book. And for her, it was so much more than writing out the stories. It was uh, like a healing and like kind of a weight being lifted off of her as she was telling me her stories. And there was a lot of emotions. There was a lot of crying. There was tears. There was anger. There was all of that stuff, which
Mhm.
I see as a very sacred, it's such a sacred gift that I feel we get to hold on the other side, because some of these people, they don't tell anybody these stories, and so it was really powerful and sacred to me to hold that, and it was an honor, but it also is a really high level responsibility as well, and that it put that much more importance on my work, which is really getting the story to where it honors her or whoever in their voice and their experience in the highest way. I always put a lot of, I think I put a healthy amount of pressure on myself every week as I was writing, because I was like, man, I just want to get this right. I want to do it well, and it was because of that, because of how important it was to her, and and doing good work, of course. But there's so much more to it than just the writing.
Oh, I love that you said that because it's really cathartic for the client. And it's
Yeah.
actually kind of cathartic for you too as the writer, because the ghostwriter, because you're allowing someone to be seen in a
Mhm.
place that they don't let many people in, because they have the covering and the confidence of the NDA, the non-disclosure agreement.
Right.
So sometimes things just let loose. I've heard people tell me how they really feel about their spouse, how they
Mhm.
really feel about being a parent. It's just a
Yeah.
beautiful sort of thing, and it's an honor. It
Yeah.
really is. It
Mhm.
really is. So thank you for sharing that with me.
Yeah.
How did this experience influence the way that you see yourself as a professional ghostwriter moving forward? You mentioned it a little bit earlier, but tell me a little bit more about how prepared you feel, now that we've wrapped this project. We've been out of it for a month now. Can you believe it? Yeah,
No,
so yeah, me neither. So how do you feel moving forward to the future?
I feel well equipped and prepared. I feel so much more confident. And I truly feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. And this is where I'm right where I should be. And I'm that much more affirmed in my decision to start this business, because so many, I think in our conversations multiple times over the years, some change. I'm like, Lynette, sometimes why am I doing this? Like, why did I do this? So my,
I gotta laugh to keep from crying, girl.
you
Go
know,
ahead.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
We laugh
seriously.
together because
Yes.
it truly is there. We have these moments. I know I have moments where I'm like, what am I doing,
Yeah.
as much as I do love and enjoy it, and but it's real though, like
Hmm.
it's not easy. It's not an easy
Mm-mm.
industry, and like we've talked about so many times, you really have to enjoy and have the passion and love this,
Mhm.
because it is hard. It's hard work.
Mhm.
It's a lot of work, and a lot of people don't understand ghostwriting, period, and we have to explain it to them. We have to, like, no, this is a real, like, important, demanding service, but it's important, and look at what it does for you and your business, and strategically places you in your industry as authority, or whatever kind of books anyone writes as a ghostwriter. But um yeah, I definitely feel more confident, prepared, and like, this is my place. Like, this is where I deserve to be, and I'm here, and I and I'm talented, I'm gifted. We got this, and so I am just so endlessly grateful because I needed that. Like, I feel like I really needed this project to really kind of boost me up and say like, hey, Ahren, like, come on, you got this. Like, this is where you need to be, And so I feel that much more confident and ready for, you know, everything else that's coming.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because I just juxtaposed my image of you from the beginning to the end, and it's a
Yeah.
completely different person. And one thing that I know is an area of opportunity that I've dealt with, you've expressed it to me, you've dealt with it. I'm sure there's a lot of ghostwriters who are watching us right now when it comes to negotiating your worth via your rate and your
Right.
compensation packages for what we do. Because I
Right.
remember when I was coaching you at first, it was a hesitancy, but now I think that you are, as Deion Sanders would say, you a dog about it. You're
Yeah.
like, you see how much work it entails,
Yeah.
and you're willing to demand. I was going to use another word, but it is demand your worth. So talk a little bit to
Mm.
me about that and that process, and how were you able to get so comfortable with demanding your worth or your
Yeah.
value, your however you say it. Yeah.
Yeah. Demanding my value and my worth. Well, you
Yeah.
taught me so much about that because you're right. Like when I first started this, I was so scared and concerned. And, I was like, I don't think they're going to pay for that. Like, I don't know. It seems too much. How do I do, how do I say it? I'm a big fan of writing stuff out and, like practicing and like
Yeah.
whatever. And you taught me so much about how to ask for my worth and the importance of, really putting the dog on, as you said, like truly, like, listen, you got to put that voice on, like, don't shake. Like, it's all about just stating the facts. And I really appreciate that. You're always like, take the emotion out of it. It's about
Yeah.
stating the facts, and then let it be. Like, let it be what it is. But, like that assertive energy and that, just really putting, my spin on it or what have you, but really stating very clearly for the client, like, this is what it
Mhm.
is, and not having to explain myself or explain, why. And if I have to do that, or if someone's asking all these questions, they're not for me, and how to politely say, I would gladly, introduce you to another ghostwriter in my network or someone that, may be a better fit for you. But you're not for me. And that's it. Point, period,
Point blank.
yeah, exactly. And you actually we experience you've taught me that so much just over the course of us, your coaching with me and everything. But that's another thing I appreciate about you and your coaching for me too, because you really like saw things. I feel like you saw things before maybe I did, or I'd be like, Lynette, I'm feeling some type of way about this. And you're like, yeah, let's talk about that, your intentionality and just the way that you see things. Like, I feel like, I don't know a better way to put it, but like kind of like a mama bear energy in a way of just saying like, yeah. And so I'm feeling some type of way about this. So let's talk about it,
That was an excellent interpretation of me when I'm coaching. That was perfect. Thank you. I need to have you on here more often. Speaking of which, Right Way Consulting fam, if you're enjoying this conversation, go ahead and hit like to this channel. No, like to the video, subscribe to this channel. And then when you're done watching, if you feel like there's someone in your network who could get benefit from this, do not be a gatekeeper. This is a gatekeeping free zone. Please share it with someone within your network. And so, yes, and thank you. I just had to take that second. But yeah, you eloquently explained how I am, because I really want all individuals in business, particularly those who look like us, to realize that you got to drop into a place that you might not be comfortable dropping into, but that's how you become, successful to your business, not only to your business, but to yourself. You become your measure of success by handling things straight on, because a lot of people, I think, convolute business by making it a little bit passive aggressive when it should be direct. So for
Mhm.
sure. So as we look ahead to the future, what's on your radar? What's up for you? You have a book under your belt. You're looking to do more. Tell me a little bit about what the future holds for you and Pen to Purpose LLC.
Yeah, thank you. Great question.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have a book project under my belt. Excited about that. Excited to do more book projects and also get into some social media content as well, like for LinkedIn and Instagram. So excited to start doing that for clients. And also, I am a bilingual ghostwriter as well, which is something I'm really wanting to do more marketing about for myself and for Pen to Purpose, but Spanish English ghostwriting. So really excited to speak to Spanish speakers and Spanish language speakers that are looking to break into the English writing, English industry, and really, help them as well tell those stories and, the intricacies and the excitement and just the beauty of the culture and the language, and
Mhm.
how to translate those stories too. So very excited about that. And yeah, just excited to continue for us to work together too, and to continue to learn and just sit at your virtual feet. Even one day I will sit at your physical feet, and I'm very excited about that. Very soon.
Yes, soon and very soon.
But excited to
Yeah.
continue to learn from you and grow, and just to continue to just really serve our communities and increase community impact, because we need it. We need to increase the impact that businesses are doing, the beautiful work that I see around me, that people just don't know how to properly communicate their stories and how to really personalize what they're doing in their community, because
Mhm.
they don't have time,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
they want that, and
Right.
our communities need it. So I'm excited to continue to do that work, because it really is what drives me forward every day in what I do.
Beautiful. And thank you for that. I love that. So tell me, who ideally would you like to work with? You mentioned it a little bit earlier, and you just said the Spanish to English writers, but go a little bit, give me more detail into your ideal client, and then also let the good people know where they can connect with you. So drop your LinkedIn, your URL, and all that good stuff. And then I have one more question for you before we close after you answer that.
Sure. Yeah. So I'll start with my ideal client. Women and women of color, ideal clients. Gen X and millennials are right up my alley in terms of who I like to work with. Like I said, founders, entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
business owners,
Uh-huh.
people just really, like I said, doing amazing community work and doing whatever they're passionate about, really industry leaders
Yes.
and their whatever they're doing, but just really ready and excited to expand and really
Mhm.
start to tell their stories in powerful ways, whether that is through that book that they've always wanted to write, or through just kind of they want to start a little bit smaller, maybe start with LinkedIn or Instagram content and move forward that way. So that's where I am in terms of the ideal client that I'd like to work with. And I work with anybody anywhere. It doesn't have to just be in LA, they can be anywhere.
Yeah.
I've had clients internationally even, so I'd love
Mhm.
anyone under that realm. So yes, that would be my ideal client.
Mhm.
Um, and in terms of where people can find me, they can find me on LinkedIn, which
Mhm.
is linkedin.com/Ahren Martinez. I am You can also find me at my website, which is going to be pentopurpose.net. That will be done by the end of this
Oh.
in the next few days. So
Mhm.
it'll be done. And
Mhm.
so that's where you can find me for now, LinkedIn and at my website. And I'm sorry, I forget your final question.
Oh, that's because I haven't asked it yet. So you're doing
Okay.
well. You're doing
Okay.
very well. So, you're my first guest officially on this channel, my first of many, hopefully.
Oh, I'm
Yes.
so honored. Yes, so
Oh,
many.
no,
Thank
we're
you.
honored. I'm so excited. So, what words do you want written for you once you have gone on into the great upper room? What words will people have written about Ahren Martinez?
Oh, that's so good. I have the chills. Um,
Mm.
that's such a beautiful question. Um, I don't know. I feel like this sounds really corny. But you know, sh- it's funny. The name of my business is Pen to Purpose, and I truly do my best to live each day with purpose.
Mhm.
So, you know, in all that I do, I really put as much intentionality and love and joy into, you know, everything that I do in each day. So I feel like I'd want it to be like she lived with purpose and she lived life, you know, well and with joy and, you know, to the fullest, something like that, you know. Um,
Mhm.
that's the first thing I can think of with that. And the logo and for my business is a hummingbird and on a book, like kind of like it's
Yeah.
going through a book. And hummingbirds are a huge thing for me, you know, because of their symbolism and of transformation and you know,
Mhm.
newness and the journey and all of that stuff. And so I just think of that and like with a hummingbird just right there at the bottom, like it's
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
that's what I think about.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much, Erin, for answering that question so well. And thank you for just, again, being here, giving up your time and telling us about your experience. It was just great to hear. And it's just a pleasure to know you and to see your growth and your development and where you're going, because I know it's going to be very far. And yeah, I just want to say thank you. And did you have any closing words, or do you all set? Is there anything else you want to leave to the audience? Maybe give them a nugget of encouragement as we close.
Yes, well, sure. Well, I mean, listen, they are in the right place because they're on your channel and watching your videos. So I truly don't think they could belong to any better YouTube channel to be following for ghostwriting or any of the things. So well done there. Stay encouraged. Stay encouraged, definitely. You know, you are right where you should be. And, you know, it's going to get hard. It's going to get tough, but stick in there, stay in there. Community is so important. Finding people like
Mhm.
you and coaches and mentors and people that believe in you is so important. Because you're never in this alone, and it's important to surround yourself with good people that want the best for you and that don't want to see you fall. Because I feel like there's enough of that out there, and so
Mhm.
finding genuine community and people that lift you up that are out here killing it and crushing it, like surround yourself with those people, because I'm grateful that that is who you are for me. And honestly, the gratitude. Listen, I will be on your channel whenever you want. I will do anything for you. You are truly you are truly the best. So I'm so honored and so grateful to be here. Thank you for having me, and thank you
Oh,
too.
thank you so much, Erin. And thank you, my Right Way Consulting channel family, for watching this. Please, again, subscribe to this channel if you're interested in more content like this video, and then do not gatekeep, share it, forward it to someone who you think it could help. And I will definitely see you in the next upload. Bye.